I always believe the VAG community has always been an OEM plus type community where we try and better what VW had already done.
Cars.co.za, Cars.co.za.
My first car growing up, I was around 13, 14 years old, and I had a Golf 1. And I think that's where my love for the VW brand came from. You know, VW for me is like, it's a way of life sort of thing. So I'm Malcolm from VAG Motorsport. We started this business in 2015. This business was started based on, my passion for VW, all things VW and Audi. So currently we're driving in the Golf 8R, 2023 Golf 8R, one of the first batches of Golf 8Rs that came into South Africa. We waited 2 years for the car to come to South Africa. We haven't done much mileage to the car. The car is sitting on just over 700 kilometers in just over a year, purely because it's a development car. So we've done quite a bit of work on the car. We've got the Miltek HJS high flow no cell cat. The reason why we moved to that route, with a lot of the countries overseas moving over to more emission-friendly upgrades, especially with TUV and America with California with having all those emissions restrictions, we decided to put an emission-friendly downpipe in the car. For those people that don't know what that means it's a downpipe that has a catalytic converter, so the car still has a catalytic converter. It is there for sound as well as performance, but it also is there so that the car does not pick up an engine light, especially if you're not doing an ECU remap or tune, etc. We've also added the Miltek valve control system, which allows us to open and close the valves. These cars come with a variable valve control system. So when you do start the car up, only the left-hand side valves open and only the left-hand side tailpiece is open. So which is quite frustrating because it obviously mutes the sound. And there's no other way, to try and make both pipes work or all four pipes work on the vehicle besides adding the optional pipe, which we plug in straight into the harness, and that allows us to remotely open and close the valves. So if I show you the door strap works, so we've got three settings on the remote. We've got one which opens the valves, two which keeps the valves quiet, and then three which is an auto state, which basically puts the car back to the way the factory is, right? So if it's now sitting on two, so it's quite quiet. If we press one, it opens the valves. So you can see that you can hear the difference when it's open. If I close the valves, you can hear the difference when it's closed. Standard, the car feels very, very quiet. It's like there's no sound, it's non-existent. And I think that's the reason why they have the sound actor inside the vehicle, which emulates the car sound, and which is obviously artificial. The downpipe makes such a difference on the car. And I think, because the car has got the Akrapovic standard, I don't feel there's a need to put an aftermarket exhaust in the car. We've done a few of them with aftermarket exhaust that didn't come with the Akrapovic, but just a good downpipe in the car already wakens the sound of the vehicle. I mean, it is a performance vehicle. You want to hear some sort of sound. Also got the APR intake system complete with the inlet pipe on the vehicle. We've got an APR intercooler that we've got into the car now. And then we've got the RacingLine Plug-n-Play module in the car. The reason why we decided to go that route initially is obviously to give customers the option that want to do the plug-and-play route, that we have an option available from RacingLine. When the software becomes available, at that point we will look at doing the software with the Stage 3 Turbo. As far as the gearbox side of things, this gearbox is not able to be tuned. We work with TVS Engineering. We're bringing in the first Megatronic from them in the next week or so, which allows us to run a Stage 3 TCU on these vehicles. Yeah, the favorite part for me about the build on the vehicle would be pretty much the suspension and wheels. A true VW guy will tell you that, if it ain't rubbing, you ain't VW. So wheels on the car, 20-inch BBS CIR unlimited wheels in satin white gold. It's currently the only set in the country in this color. It's BBS's new adaptive wheel system, which comes in one PCD 5117, and then BBS sells adaptive plates so that it can fit on any car. So it's one of their new ways of producing wheels, which allows them to make multiple applications with one wheel, based on the fact that you're able to put a different spacer kit per vehicle. It's that, and then the car is obviously on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Suspension, we've got the KW V3 suspension, which is height, dampening, and bump stop adjustable. So obviously from a handling perspective, we've also got the sway bars in the car. We've got the RacingLine carbon brace, which obviously helps with body roll. And then on the brake side of things, the stock brakes on the car is quite good. We're actually looking at upgrading to carbon ceramic, just to give the car a lot more stopping power for circuit racing. And then, for track racing, we're going to be putting a set of 18-inch wheels or tires because that allows us to have more grip with semi-sticks. There's quite a bit of cosmetic mods in the car as well. We've added in the Clubsport wing on the back of the vehicle. We've got the Urban Automotive kit on the vehicle. It's the only kit in the country at the moment. We're the importers for Urban Automotive in the UK. And obviously, because we are going to race the car on the circuit and track strip, etc., we've added the Recaro pole position seats with the aluminium brackets and double lock-in rails, because as you get around a circuit, you realize that you start moving all over the seat, and we are going to add a 6-point harness in the car, which helps us to stay fitted in the vehicle when we drive in the vehicle. So we tried to keep the car pretty much very similar to the OEM drive. That's the reason why we went to the KW V3, because the rebound is set to a soft to medium setting, so that you get pretty much a standard ride, but you're also getting the advantage of the bump stop being changed a bit, just so that you're having less bounce on the road. Performance-wise, this car standard they make 235 kilowatts, and we've now taken the car up to about 320 kilowatts. 0 to 100 times are down by a second. And on the quarter mile times, we've run at 12.4 seconds at Tarleton in standard form of this vehicle. The car should be now capable of running 11.5, 11.6 with the current setup in the vehicle. Up here at 5,500 feet above sea level. The engine is standard. Everything on this car is bolt on, bolt off. So it can be taken off very, very easily. Working on the vehicle, it is challenging where there's not much information out there. Fortunately for us, because we work with big companies in Europe and the US, etc., the vehicle has been out for 2 years in those countries, and we were able to tap into their knowledge base to give us information we needed about cars, like for instance how to dyno these cars, because these cars can only be dynoed in a specific way. And so we were the first to market to dyno these cars, especially switching out their Haldex systems and getting it to work on a front-wheel drive dyno or two rollers, where other guys didn't know how to do that. And that's purely because we're able to tap into the knowledge base of our peers in the US and in Europe. There has been a lot of development, as I said, in those countries, but there's also development had been limited, especially with the gearbox and the tissue side of things, where nobody globally is able to work on these gearboxes or to flash these gearboxes because of the megatronics. And we have a solution. We're working with one of our suppliers, TVS Engineering in the Netherlands. We're busy with the solution for Golf 8, and we will be doing our first setup with that solution on the gearboxes in the next week or two. We're just waiting for some parts to arrive from Netherlands. But again, like the Golf 7 market, we've always been at the forefront of development, based on the fact that we are working with international suppliers that are constantly developing new products, calibration engineers, mechanical engineers, that are able to make new designs come to life as soon as possible as they can with the testing, etc. So it's not just we're putting parts on the vehicle that because it's bigger, we should just fit it in the car. All these products have been engineered specifically for these vehicles. With regards to development, yes, it has been a lot slower than the Golf 7 platform. I think the primary reason for that is that the price of the vehicles has more than doubled what the Golf 7 was. And if I remember correctly, when I bought my Golf 7R back in 2014, retail new on those cars were around 490,000 Rand. And if you look at the Golf 8R now, they're close on to 1.1 million, which is more than double the price. So I think that was the first big mistake that VW made. The price of the vehicles were way more than what people expected it to be. I think at 800,000-900,000 Rand, it seemed more fair and more affordable. The price firstly was the big deterrent. Secondly, obviously, we waited 2 years for the cars to get to South Africa, which is also, people waited for a long time, and those people that waited ended up buying other cars. So definitely there was a knock-on effect as a result of that. Initially, there wasn't many cars that came in, and now they have cars, but they don't have buyers. So, they're sitting in a catch-22 situation where they're trying to discount vehicles because they're sitting with these vehicles, and yet there's a global shortage of these vehicles. Production issues, issues with parts that come from Ukraine and the war, and other external factors that control the manufacturing sector. So I think, from a modifying perspective, with the Golf 7s we did very well, and that's purely because we were the first to market with a lot of products because of the companies we represent. Development happened way before everyone else. Just like API at the moment, what they do is that when the cars come out in Germany, the cars get sent from Germany direct to the US before it comes out anywhere else in the world. So we have access to the vehicles before everyone else, which allows for development to happen. But that said, with the Golf 8s, we've done quite a few of them in South Africa. As I said, the biggest issue is the price. And I think that's what's a big deterrent, because if you look at the price of a Golf 8 at the moment, I mean, you could pretty much buy an M2, M3. You as soon as you go over $1 million, you end up, there's a lot more options that are out there at that price point. So I think that was the biggest deterrent for people not buying that vehicle.
Hello, I have been asked by head office to introduce you to Cars.co.za Login, your personalized car buying companion. That's what it says here on my cheat sheet. Now, there are actually so many benefits to using the login feature on our app and on our website, mobile and desktop, that there's a long list here which I can't remember. So I'm going to tell you all about it. The thing is, the system is quite smart. So the more you use it, the more we learn what sort of cars you're looking for, and we can make better, more tailored suggestions for you. There's also very important save and sync across devices. So if you've got some cars on your wish list, or if you've searched, or if you've put through a lead to a dealer, then you will be able to see all of those, won't get lost or refreshed, whether you're on mobile, desktop, or our app. So it's a cross-device seamless experience. That's what it says here. We can also make tailored recommendations to you over time as well. We're also going to expand the offering all the time. We're working hard on it to integrate things like cars alerts and that sort of thing. So that's all coming as well. And then because we've integrated WhatsApp into the whole process, by using the login, it verifies you on WhatsApp, and that makes that whole experience better for you as well. So for instance, if you put an inquiry through on a car, we'll send you a WhatsApp, and that will help you deal with that a little bit easier and contact the dealer a little bit easier as well. So go and check it out. Cars.co.za's new user login, your personalized car buying companion. Now you can stop messaging me on social media.
Let's find what moves you. Cars.co.za.